Welcome to Phill Reviews. In this episode I will be reviewing the film Klowns From Outer Space. Yeah, I think the title pretty much summarises the main plot there. The opening of the film pretty much introduces all the main characters. We have Mike and Debbie, who are drinking champagne and making out in the back of a car in a rubber dinghy, because, it's the only reason you're making out in a rubber dinghy. Whatever. We then get introduced to the comic relief characters, Rich and Paul, with the ice cream truck. These characters really annoy me. They are so redundant in this film. The key problem here is this film was already a zany horror comedy, and the comic relief characters are just so unnecessary. To be fair, I do find them amusing during their first appearance in the film.
Everyone's favorite frozen delight, the Lick-a-Stack.
Jeez, what the...
Get out of here, you morons! Hey, take your ice cream and get lost!
Oh yeah?
In the film. So we get a first taste of the quality of special effects in this film. Yes, the effects don't get any better than that. In fact, I would say some of them are worse. I'm reminded a lot of special effects from the Doctor Who story horror Fang, broadcast in 1977, as the effects look very similar and the quality is about the same, despite the film being filmed 11 years later, plus the difference between the film and the television series budget. Mike and Debbie decided to see where it landed. Apparently it landed quite close. Well, according to the script anyway. Definitely not by that special effect. We get introduced to the clowns when an old man goes looking for a landing site with his dog, Pooh Bear. After the dog disappears, the old man decides to attack the circus tent with his bare hands.
Where's my Pooh Bear? I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands! This thing is wired!
And then comes face to face with the clowns. At this point I must say the killer clown costumes are excellent. To be honest, I would imagine that most money spent on special effects was blown on the clowns, and they look great. A very distinctive and memorable design. So after the rather entertaining old man is killed, we are finally introduced to the last main character of the film, Dave. And one of the most entertaining supporting characters I've seen in a film for a long time, Mooney. Mooney absolutely hates students for local university. There is a striking resemblance between Mooney's attitude towards students and some of the job centre advisors' attitudes towards unemployed graduates, which I've had the misfortune to sign on with.
Beautiful night, we were walking around, we didn't do nothing.
You guys go to the college, right?
Yeah, right.
So why don't you just stay there and do your drinking on campus? Why do you have to come into town?
Well, I mean, we live in this town, too. I mean, we don't have to just stay on campus.
Yeah. And it's scum like you that are killing this town.
Anyway, Mooney arrests two students for walking through a park and then proceeds to assault them in the police station. Mooney also hates Dave. The Mooney character really does add a lot of entertainment value to the film. We finally get Mike and Debbie finding a circus tent in the woods, with only Debbie finding it weird that it's clearly out of place.
Holy shit! It's no shooting star. Looks like,
circus tent.
What's a circus tent doing all the way out here? It's a pretty lousy location for a show.
Something's wrong. This doesn't feel right.
Upon finding what appears to be a power source or an engine room, Mike comes to the conclusion that must be some sort of top secret nuclear silo.
What is it, a nuclear power plant?
No.
A missile silo?
No.
A military base?
No!
Yeah, that makes sense. Clearly designed to attract as much attention as possible. Anyway, they find the cotton candy room, essentially a huge food store. Mike insists that the circus tent looking building is a cotton candy factory. Yeah, Mike shows an impressive level of denial and stupidity.
This looks like a cotton candy factory to me. Yeah. This must be where they hang it up to dry before they ship the stuff out.
Anyway, after Mike rips a piece of cotton candy-like substance off one of the cocoons to reveal a body, they flee, while being chased by a clown with a popcorn gun. We also get the rather great balloon sniffer dog. Well, after escaping the clowns, they flee to the town to inform the police. The clowns follow them into town, and we start getting random scenes of the clowns killing people. While Mike and Debbie tell their story to Dave, Mooney comes in and proceeds to mock them.
killer clowns from outer space. Holy shit.
Dave drives Debbie home. He is her ex-boyfriend, so we get some immediate conflict between Dave and Mike as they travel up to the woods. Upon reaching a giant crater, Dave arrests Mike for wasting police time.
So you're saying that hole is where the tent was? The tent made that hole, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, it was there. Look, we saw it. That's a fact.
I'll tell you what the facts are, mister. You said people are being killed. Now, where are the bodies?
Yeah. I think Dave's a little bit blind. Travelling back to town, Dave lets Mike go after finding some dead bodies. Now, while Dave and Mike head back to town, we return to Mooney, who's chilling out, grinning, while reading a magazine, and then we get a glance at what he was reading. Yep, presumably reviews or adverts for handguns. Most likely, he is imagining shooting students with them. It is funny, I can picture Mooney as a job centre advisor.
Oh, clowns, huh? And now they're at your front door, huh? Wait a minute, who is this? Stupid kids and the pranks.
Anyway, while Dave and Mike are heading back to town, the clowns have been killing people in an entertaining range of ways, from turning up with pizzas at people's front doors. Yep, nothing weird about that, and, well, nothing weird until more of them showed up and jumped out of a pizza box. Killing people with popcorn monsters, and eating people using shadow puppets. Naturally, this means calls being flooded in a police station, where Mooney has decided everyone is playing a prank on him to drive him out of his job. When Dave radios in confirming the story that Mike and Debbie told Dave and Mooney at the police station, Mooney reacts in a sensible and level-headed way.
I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you! Over.
Mike goes to warn Paul and Rich, and use an ice cream truck to warn people. Apart from the stupidity of using an ice cream truck to warn people, we have a misfortune at this point of the comic relief characters joining the main plot again. They are a bit much.
It was your idea.
My idea? You're the one who said we get girls this way.
No, I didn't. You did.
You did. You did. You did. You did.
When a clown turns up at the police station, Mooney arrests the clown, but it attacks him. When Dave returns to the police station, he searches for Mooney and finds the cells redecorated. We then have the ironic death of Mooney.
Make a dummy out of yourself. But you're not going to make a dummy out of me. Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
We find out how to kill a clown. Who said special effects had to be special? Dave and Mike both make their separate ways to Debbie's house. Debbie has had some bad luck though. The popcorn grows into clown heads. Once Debbie manages to escape them, the clowns show up and store her in a balloon, with the main characters chasing the clowns to rescue Debbie. The clowns get to an amusement park and the gang follow them into a fun house. We get an explanation of why the clowns have attacked the town. They get split up, Dave and Mike find for food storage, and search for a yellow balloon to rescue Debbie.
Hey, that's the one. The yellow balloon. Is she in there?
Yeah, she's in there.
Guys, you know all the balloons must contain people who appear to be preserved for fresh meat, right? Don't bother to save them at all. Yep, just ignore them.
There might be other people still alive in these balloons.
Oh, well noticed, Dave. Shame you left it too late. Anyway, after they chased through the ship, they're cornered, only for Rich and Paul to show up in an ice cream truck for, how? This save is followed with a giant clown coming out of the ceiling. Why?
What the hell is that?
We find out ice cream trucks are surprisingly explosive. On the bright side, Paul and Rich are dead. Hooray! Mike and Debbie escape while Dave distracts the giant clown. You know you probably could have escaped then, Dave. Oh well. The ship begins to take off and Dave kills the giant clown, causing the ship to explode for some reason. So that's Dave presumably dead. Well, Dave somehow manages to survive by jumping into a clown car, only for extremely annoying comic relief characters to pop out the boot, who apparently survived by hiding with the ice cream. Well, that's most of the population of the town slaughtered, but the film has an upbeat ending, followed by Dave, Mike and Debbie being hit in the face with pies because, comedy? So that was Killer Klowns From Outer Space. Is it worth your time? Sure. The film is great in places. The special effects look awful, but the clowns look excellent. The design of the clowns really is great. The film is a good horror comedy. It's nowhere near as good as, say, Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz, but it's still pretty entertaining. With great supporting characters such as Mooney, and the creative clown kills are pretty damn funny at times. I personally love the shadow puppets. The film is far from perfect, but if you wanted to relax for 80 minutes, this film would be a good choice. The major issue I have is the inclusion of the comic relief characters in a horror comedy. Rich and Paul are just really annoying, and apart from their first appearance in the film, I do not find them amusing. The biggest slap in the face is when you get to see the ice cream truck explode, only for them to survive and have one more annoying moment at the end of the film. On the bright side, this was much more enjoyable to review than Love and Monsters. If you enjoyed this review, please click subscribe to the channel for future reviews. Feedback and film recommendations are always welcomed, so feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching.
Frig yous all. You ain't gonna get the best of me.